que con su palabra el mundo afirmó. Él no olvidará, por siempre mantendrá su promesa.
This story took place many years ago when King Herodes ruled over an empire that stretched from India to Ethiopia. The central government was in the city of Susa, and the queen was called Vashti. Let us welcome King Herodes and Queen Vashti with loud applause. Decided to give a great festival that lasted many days.
I want to host a party in my palace so all the governors, officials, and collaborators of the Medo-Persian Empire come. I want the whole place decorated, and there's going to be a lot of food, a lot of drink, and a lot of candies for the kids. I want to show the splendor of my kingdom and the greatness of my power.
This party lasted many days, but it had another party on the seventh day. On the seventh day, the king was happening, and after 7 minutes, so that everyone could admire the beauty of the queen. But the queen was too tired, and she refused to go. The king became very angry. He was filled with rage and asked the wise men who were the emperor and who knew the laws of his kingdom and were part of the
Who should be done to the queen who doesn't want to obey my royal order and disobey me?
All the authorities and her entire kingdom. The other woman will find out what she did and want to disrespect her husband too. If it pleases her majesty, make a royal decree that cannot be annulled. Queen Vashti will never again be able to present herself before the king, and that the title of queen be given to better worthy women.
This idea seemed very good to the king, and he put it into practice. After some time, King Herodes no longer remembered Queen Vashti, but she had done and yet he should care for them. So his government officials told him,
It is necessary that beautiful young women be sought for the king. Let the king appoint delegates in all parts of the kingdom with the task of bringing them all to the palace of the king that the king has in Susa, and they place in the care of Haggai, the king's trusted man and guardian of women. Let Haggai in turn subject them to beauty treatment, and let the young woman the king likes the most be named queen.
the idea pleased the king, and so it was done. In the city of Susa lived a Jew named Mordecai. Of the tribe of Benjamin. Mordecai had a cousin, orphan of father and mother, whom he had adopted as his daughter when her parents passed away. Her name was Hadassah or Esther. She was very beautiful and had a remarkable appearance. When the king's edict was published and many young women were copied to the royal palace in the city of Susa and placed under the care of guardian of women, among them was Esther. The young woman, great us welcome, Queen Esther and King Headless.
Okay.
One day, Mordecai was sitting at the door of the royal palace. Her two officers of the royal guard who were guarding the entrance of the palace, they very who in turn told it to the king and Mordecai's The matter was investigated, and when it was discovered to be true, the two officers were sentenced to death by hanging. This fact was recorded in the process of in the book in which the history of the nation was written.
Sometime later, King Headless placed Haman in charge of the nation's government. Haman entered. When Haman passed by. When they were before him, because this was what the king had commanded.
They went to tell Haman to see if Mordecai would uphold their words, since he had already told them that there was a Jew. And when Haman saw that Mordecai did not kneel or bow to his head when he passed him, he was filled with indignation. The king's secretaries were called, who wrote Haman's orders to the regional and provincial governors and the authorities of each nation. These orders were written in the scripts and language of each province and town, and signed in the name of King Herodes, and sealed with the royal seal, and then sent by carriers to all the provinces of the kingdom. They ordered the complete destruction in a single day of all Jews, whether young or old, children or women, and to seize all their property. The appointed day was the 13th day of the 12th month. That is the month of Adar.
When Mordecai learned everything that would happen, he tore his clothes off with pain, dressed in rough clothes, put ashes on his head, and began to walk around the city, shouting bitterly. Thus only reached the entrance of the royal palace, since no one dressed in that way was allowed to enter. Also, in each province where the king's order and edict reached, there was a great affliction among the Jews, who expressed their sadness with fasting, tears, and lamentations. And many of them lay down in ashes, and dressed in rough clothes. Esther then called Haman, who was an officer of the royal guard, and ordered him to go to Mordecai, and asked him what was happening, and why he was doing all of this. Haman went to speak to Mordecai, who was in the city square, in front of the gate of the royal palace. And Mordecai informed him of what was happening, and of the amount of silver that Haman had promised to give to the royal exchange, as the Jews were exterminated. He also gave him a copy of the extermination decree published to Susa so that he could give it to Esther, so that she could be informed of everything. He also recommended that Esther speak personally to the king and beg him to intervene on behalf of her people.
Hatak returned and told Esther what Mordecai had told him. Then Esther sent Hatak again with the following answer to Mordecai. All those who serve the king and the inhabitants of the provinces under Israel know that there is a law that condemns that every man or woman who enters the court inside the palace to see the king without him having told them, unless the king extends his golden scepter over that person as a sign of mercy, and thus spare his life. As for me, it has been 30 days since the Queen Esther has been summoned by the king. Then Esther sent this answer to Mordecai.
Esther said, "He go and gather all the Jews of Susa, so that they fast for me. Do not eat or drink anything for 3 days and 3 nights. My maids and I will also do the same, and then I will go see the king, even though that is against the law. And if they kill me, let them kill me."
3 days later, Esther put on the royal robes and entered the inner courtyard of the palace. Stopping in front of the room where the king was sitting on his throne, which was facing the door. Esther starts coming in.
As soon as the king saw Queen Esther in his courtyard, he was affectionate toward her, and extended toward her the golden scepter that he carried in his hand. Esther approached and touched the end of the scepter, and the king asked her,
So the king and a man The queen had prepared this banquet for Esther and Haman. The Queen Esther had prepared this banquet for the king and
Haman left the banquet very happy and satisfied, but he was filled with anger when he saw that Mordecai, who was at the door of the palace, did not get up and did not even move when he saw him pass. He had distinguished him among his officials and collaborators, giving him a position superior to them all. And he added,
Queen has invited me.
idea pleased Haman, and he ordered the gallows to be prepared.
the same night the king could not sleep. So he ordered that the book in which all the important events of the nation were written be brought to him, so that it could be read to him. In it they found the account of how Mordecai had discovered the plot prepared by Bigman and Teres, officers of the royal guard, to assassinate King Hephus. Then the king asked,
What reward and honor has Mordecai received for his action?
Absolutely nothing, his official responded. At that moment, a man enters the courtyard leading to the king's private room.
What should we what should be done to the man who the king wants to honor?
Haman said to himself,
Who the king wants to honor but me?
Okay, so do that what you how you say. Take the horse, the tunic, everything. But do that with Mordecai for you. Yeah. And don't follow everything how you said with him.
Haman took the tunic and the horse and dressed Mordecai and led him on the horse, the seat square, shouting before him, "This is how you treat the man who the king wants to honor."
The king and Haman went to the banquet, and also on the second day, the king said to Esther during the banquet,
Then King Xerxes asked, and Queen Esther answered him, then King Xerxes asked, Esther replies, hearing this, Haman was paralyzed. He could not believe what was happening. And with fear, before the king and queen, Xerxes got full of anger, and leaving the room, when they were celebrating the banquet, he went out in the garden of the palace.
as soon as the king had spoken those words, some officer with personal guard covered Haman's face, and one of them named Haman said, "A gallows about 22 feet high is ready in Haman's house, which he ordered to be built."
And Haman was then on the same gallows that he had prepared for Mordecai. With that, the king's anger was calmed. The king was relieved. Then the king's secretaries were immediately called, and it was the 23rd day of the 3rd month, that is Sivan, and everything that Mordecai ordered was written to the Jews, to the regional and provincial governors, and the order of authorities of 127 provinces, those extended from India to Ethiopia, written in the language of each province. It was also written in Hebrew. The letters were signed in the name of King Xerxes. After being sealed with the royal seal, they were sent by carriers riding fast horses from the king's stables. Then the king authorized the Jews in any city where they lived to gather and to spend their lives, and to kill and destroy anyone who would come and charge their property, and come and became down
Pero yo quiero presentarle, mientras ellos se van ubicando, a los actores. Porque hemos estado allá atrás en el castillo del rey Asuero y la reina Esther. Pero entonces, primero quiero que conozcan a la reina Basti, que va a entrar ahora. Un aplauso para la reina Basti. Venga, reina Basti, es una de las maestras de los niños. También vamos a presentar al rey Asuero y a la reina Esther. Muy bien, por supuesto, tengo que presentarles a Mardoqueo. Un aplauso a Mardoqueo. Así fue que terminó la boda con la corona. Pero no puedo pasar. Perdón. Teníamos a los que querían matar al rey Asuero. Aquí tengo a uno de ellos, aquí, uno de los empleados de la corte, más adelante. Se preparan porque les voy a presentar ¡tadán! ¡Haman! Los niños ansiosos esperaban que dijeran Haman. Esta noche, los niños van a presentar la canción lema de Roca Kid TV. Yo creo que muchos de ustedes ya han visto el canal y tenemos una canción lema. Así que la reina Esther, que es la que ha preparado con ellos esta canción, va a estar guiándolos y nos va a acompañar, nos va a cantar la canción. ¿Cómo se llama esa canción? El gobierna. Reina Esther. Ay, perdón. Yo sabía que me faltaba alguien, lo que pasa es que está escondido y no lo vi. Andrew. Ay, mi amor, me faltó mi bután. Estaba escondido, por eso.
Admirable más que todo es nuestro Dios, que con su palabra el mundo afirmó. Él no olvidará, por siempre él mantendrá su promesa.